What's going on, everyone? Sean Pierce Johnson here, and welcome to this week's episode of Stompbox Saturday. On the Stompin' Block today, we are going to be taking a look at the Running Wolf Fuzz by NativeAudio, our first fuzz pedal of the year. Now, you might take a look at these shots that you're seeing on your screen right now of the Running Wolf and think to yourself, what's so special about a one-knob fuzz pedal? But if you look back into the history of guitar effects, one-knob pedals, especially fuzzes, were very early examples of a Stompbox, a guitar pedal. They were simple circuits with simple user interfaces that crafted a lot of the guitar tones that we know and love from those early days. Now, there is something about the Running Wolf that I particularly like, and it's not just its simplicity, but it's the flavor of fuzz that you get out of it. So let's go ahead and throw the pedal up on the screen and get down to what makes this pedal so special. As you have seen and can see right now, there's only one knob on this pedal. It's a volume knob. So what is it about a one knob fuzz pedal that makes it better than you might think at first glance? Well, there's a set gain structure. Okay, so you can't adjust that. But the output volume is really the thing that interests me here. What I find with the Running Wolf is that at different points on its volume control, I get different kinds of fuzz tones. And that's because the output volume is affecting the front end of the amplifier. It's providing that boost, it's providing that push, but then couple that with the set gain structure, you end up having on the lower end a more friendly kind of fuzz tone, and on the higher range of the knob you get something that's much more splattery and a little bit more, how shall I put this, it's a little bit more unfriendly, I guess I could say. There's a certain type of fuzz tone that I know a lot of people don't necessarily like and that I tend to gravitate towards, and that's things that maybe are a little harder to control, things that maybe don't sustain quite as much as you want. But nevertheless, we are going to explore everything, going into the clean channel of the rock reverb and the dirty channel of the rock reverb. However, for the one knob fuzz, there is a control on the inside that you can change, and that is a trim pot for the gate control. You'll hear throughout this demo that this is a slightly gated fuzz, and that's not a problem. As a matter of fact, with a set gain structure, you might want a built-in gate, but you are able to adjust it once you open up the pedal and take a look at the PCB. You'll find that trim pot, and then you can adjust the gate, and we'll do that in a little bit. So, to start out the video, let's go ahead and hear the Running Wolf with my main Les Paul going into the orange Rock Reverb 100. We'll go from the clean channel, go to the dirty channel, and then we'll switch over to the Jennings Navigator so that we can hear this thing with single coils. So let's get started. Here is the clean tone of the Rock Reverb 100. And it's going to break up a little bit, but that's kind of how you want your amp to be with fuzz pedals. All right, let's go ahead and turn the volume knob all the way down and then turn on the Running Wolf, and I'm just gonna sweep it so you can hear the range at first. So, what's very interesting to me about that, as I illustrated to you earlier, or at least said earlier and illustrated now, is that the lower range of the knob definitely feels a little bit more friendly, something that you could very easily use for some rhythm guitar work. When we start cranking the volume knob, we kind of get into that splattery, gargantuan, almost stoner fuzz territory, which I have found myself to gravitate towards a lot these days. And the gate is definitely affecting that as well, where it comes set from the factory. Personally, I find that finding unity gain on the clean channel is really where you want to be. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to start with the knob at noon. That's where I was playing with it on the intro. But let's see if we can find a sound that is equal in volume to the clean tone and see if we can have some fun. So that's kind of where I like to set it with the clean channel. Now let's switch over to the dirty channel of the rock reverb and go ahead and kind of experiment with the sound of the Running Wolf into that. I've got it set fairly crunchy. It's not quite a high gain sound. I'll go ahead and turn the gain down a little bit. That's more like it. So let's go ahead and do the same thing when we checked out the range. I'm just going to turn it on with the volume down all the way, and we'll just sweep the volume knob to hear the range of it and see how it affects that dirty tone. I think you guys can tell by that I kind of like the sound of the Running Wolf just going full bore into the dirty channel of the rock reverb. I kind of feel like that's where it's meant to be set. Because when you run a fuzz pedal into a dirty amplifier, it tends to act more as like a compression and overdrive kind of thing. So I tend to crank the volume. Like if I have a fuzz face, I do that too. Big Muff is a different story. I don't really run those into the dirty channel at all, personally. Anyway, that's Humbuckers, and I think it sounds pretty gargantuan and pretty massive. So let's go over and grab the Jennings Navigator and hear this thing with some single coils. fun. I think I do like it turned up all the way, personally. Just, you know, preference there. Yep, who thought a Telecaster style guitar, because it's not a Telecaster, it's a Jennings Navigator, who thought that that could do like heavy stonery kind of stuff? Of course, having an orange amplifier helps for that, I find, personally. Yeah, anyway, yeah, wow, such a variation of tones from just one knob, and I think it's a good idea for us to open up this pedal and take a listen to what the gate control can do in terms of shaping your fuzz tones. So pardon me while I go grab a screwdriver and open this bad boy up. So when you open up your Running Wolf, you are going to find this, and as you can see, it's a very simple circuit. Now, I told you that the gate was what you could control on the inside, and thankfully, it is very nicely labeled, turn this one. You don't have to question it. It's right there for you. So I'm gonna go ahead and take my little screwdriver, turn completely counterclockwise, run into the clean channel of the rock reverb, and see what we start out with. I have the volume knob at about 1 o'clock. Wow, very Velcro-y at that point. All right, let's go ahead and turn the gate knob right about there. I'm starting to hear a little bit more noise from the pedal now. Fuzz almost has more of an overdrive characteristic at this point. As we turn up the gate, we start getting more of that splattery tone. Do you hear kind of like a low octave thing going on? Because I certainly do. It's almost like a weird Octavia kind of thing. All right, I guess this is the full open of the gate. Huh, this has a gated quality to it too, doesn't it? Let's go ahead and go to the opposite end of the spectrum. Do the same thing. It's kind of a different quality to it. Let's see. That's where about stock is. Turn it back just a little bit. Okay, I kind of like that. I'm gonna go ahead and try that with the Jennings and see how that sounds. I think I like it. And that, my friends, is a little taste of the Running Wolf Fuzz by NativeAudio. Now, I've been trying to teach you guys something here throughout this video, and that's this. Don't judge a pedal by its control layout. In my experience, I find that simpler pedals tend to lead to more versatility than pedals that have a ton of knobs and other options in them. From the simple control layout we have on the Running Wolf, with the volume knob being on the face and the gate control being inside the pedal, we were able to get a wide array of fuzz tones to suit different styles of playing, or at least different styles of rock and roll music. But once we open up that gate and we start toying around with where that control is set, we get even more versatility. We don't even really need to worry about how much gain is built into the fuzz sound of this pedal. Now that I've found the gate setting that I like, I'm anxious to see where I can take that sound now by just turning the volume knob, but that might be for another show. But at the end of the day, simple fuzz pedal, always welcome in my collection, and I am very happy that I got the chance to check this one out. And I certainly hope you enjoyed it and that you learned the lesson that I hope you learned. If you did, let me know in the comments section below, and please do click the subscribe button and turn on the notifications so you don't miss next week's episode of Stompbox Saturday, which may or may not just be a NAMM video. I have no idea. There's a lot going on right now. But what remains is I always love having you guys join me and spend your Saturday with me. And until next time, my friends, I'm Sean Pierce Johnson, and I wish you all out there great tone and happy stomping. Cheers.